So if your most favorite perfume note is patchouli, then this is the perfect video for you, because in this one I'll be sharing with you top 3 of my most favorite patchouli dominant perfumes with which you can create the ultimate patchouli bomb ever. So to find out more about it, please keep on watching this video, and of course feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're here for the first time. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode in which I share with you my most favorite perfume combos. And in case you missed the introduction part to this concept of wearing perfumes, then I highly recommend you to check out that first video in which I explained why and how I combine different fragrances, and the link to it I will put down below in the description box. So today we are talking about patchouli, definitely one of my most favorite perfume materials. And in the beginning, just a couple of words about this material, which has many different facets, and probably that is the most fascinating side of patchouli, because it can be earthy, it can be woody, it can be even fruity, and some perfumers manage to push it into the chocolate direction. But mainly patchouli is this exotic bush that grows in India, and from patchouli leaves is obtained patchouli oil. And in case you're a big fan of patchouli dominant fragrances in which that note is most outstanding, I highly recommend you to get yourself patchouli essential oil. I have one right here. Wow, this stuff is so strong, and you might be even surprised by how it smells on its own. So that's just my personal recommendation to you, to get better understanding of materials. But just in case you're looking for awesome patchouli fragrances, today I will be sharing with you top 3 of my most favorite patchouli fragrances, mainly because each of them focuses on a specific side of patchouli, and I've already told you, right, that patchouli can be so different. But in my opinion, the main purpose of patchouli is to bring into the composition depth and make it more exquisite. So on that note, today I have super earthy and woody patchouli, fruity, kind of sweet patchouli, and also really chocolatey patchouli. So I wanted these fragrances to be completely different, although the only similarity between them is a huge amount of patchouli in them. So let's get started. I will be applying fragrances on me. This is the crucial part of this video, to actually show you the application. And although I'm not an oversprayer, as you've probably already seen in my video in which I tried to overspray like a curly fragrance, I definitely stepped out of my comfort zone, but yeah, that was just a little trial. So that video turned out to be fun, and in case you missed it, definitely check it out. The link is going to be on the screen, so save it for watching later. But yeah, I will be going pretty ham on today's fragrances, and to start I want to with probably the lightest one out of them, because it's on this, you know, like fruity side of patchouli. And here I'm talking about Bitter Peach by Tom Ford. I have a whole review on this fragrance just in case you're interested in it, and all the helpful information you'll find down below, so check it out for the links. For today's video I chose this fragrance because this is an awesome example of that velvety and really peachy patchouli. So I will be spraying it on generously. Actually, I wore it yesterday to the barbecue party, and I was amazed by its dry down. Actually, the opening really reminds me of Angel by MUGLER, that, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of, but the dry down, only yesterday I realized how beautiful it is. So I will be spraying it on like 5 times. So 3 spritzes on my hair and 2 on my top. that's enough, because this fragrance, although is not in a beast mode, yet it has great performance, and overall scent is pretty like velvety patchouli, so it's not really earthy, it's quite refined, and I like the boozy side of this fragrance because there is also rum and cognac, davana, which goes into the green boozy direction, and of course lots of peach and even more blood orange, and all of that is kind of like velvety. Once again, that's the texture, okay? It's almost powdery. So I'm a big fan of it because it's fresh and easy to wear patchouli, maybe for those who don't really like those intensely earthy patchouli fragrances. I have this amazing, refreshing, fizzy, boozy, really orangey patchouli on me right now, but I want to go into something sweeter and deeper, and for that I chose Behold Patchouli by Galahad Fragrances. Once again, have a whole review on it. In case you haven't watched it yet, definitely check it out because this fragrance is quite a bomb. So many reviewers talk about it, people just love it. I received compliments for it. It's a bold one and it's about chocolatey patchouli. So I will be putting this one right here on my décolleté like that. And this is a very strong fragrance that I like to apply maybe on my scarf or something like that. But today, obviously, I will be applying it on myself. So do you know what I will do? It's one of my favorite places to apply perfume, right underneath the, your top. So 2 spritzes of this one is enough for me personally. And as you can tell, I concentrated on this area. So bitter peach is kind of like everywhere, right? And this one is really only in the center. So there is a lot of orangey vibe going on, so it goes well with bitter peach. That's why they are kind of in the same area. The last fragrance is going to be slightly different, but this one has more of that sweetness and less of the booze than bitter peach has. And overall it also has like interesting benzoin sweetness and labdanum darkness. So it reminds me a little bit of Coromandel by Chanel, but this one is more chocolatey and more heavy on sweet and bitter orange. So it is a little bit like a cake, but like, patchouli cake. So it's definitely for the lovers of patchouli and sweeter fragrances that are on the gourmand side, yet it's not really edible. If you like fragrances that smell like food, then I have a whole other video on that, so you might want to check it out. But Behold Patchouli is rather elegant but very, very strong, and because of this intense dose of citruses, it's quite happy. There is also chocolate that can get you in a great mood. So gorgeous, gorgeous patchouli. Love it on its own, but in this combo it's amazing. And for last but not least, I decided to go with Patchouli Leaves that I first tried out in Amsterdam actually, and just fell in love with this truly patchouli fragrance that is the closest to patchouli essential oil. Just in case you're wondering which one smells like the actual material, that's definitely it. It is more minimalistic than the other ones, and since this is a MONTALE fragrance and they are rather on the oily base, I won't be putting it on my beautiful white top. Instead, I will be putting on my skin, so I will be applying on my wrist. Maybe you can actually see, right, this oily, dark residue that it leaves, and also on this one, right? And if I'm like extra bougie, I would put it on my neck too. But this is a really extremely earthy, almost soily fragrance. It smells like you are wearing a very, very expensive fragrance, visiting maybe your family somewhere on the countryside. So you can literally smell the soil, you can smell green leaves, and yet when you get inside it is very cozy and warm, really beautiful. Amber stands out in the dry down, but you really need to wait until that vanilla and ambery warmth will appear, because in the opening it's pretty much patchouli in your face, so it is for hardcore lovers of patchouli. This is the strongest and most intense one out of these three, but in my opinion they all add to each other so much, because bitter peach is on this fruity, boozy, velvety side, behold patchouli is rather sweet, and then you get a lot of earthiness and darkness out of Patchouli Leaves by Montale. So I definitely love these three on their own or together. If you can get enough of patchouli, then I highly recommend you to try out layer these. And if you have any patchouli favorites, go ahead and comment them down below. If you want more of my recommendations, I have a whole top list dedicated to patchouli, and I would suggest you check it out. And of course, leave me a comment down below. What do you think about this one, and which note about perfume combos you want to see in the next episode? On that note, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of my content, check me out on Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel, because I would love to have you back. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see each other in the next one. Bye guys!